Hello civilians. Welcome back to our channel. And today we'll be talking about how to select a life partner. So, let's begin. Now, out of the many difficult things that we have to do in our lives, choosing a life partner is perhaps one of the most difficult things. When it comes to choosing a life partner, we have to be ultra careful or our life could go upside down. Since the partner that we choose has so much influence on us and also on our decisions that he or she has the power as well as the authority to dictate our life choices. If they want, then they can literally destroy us. Just recently, Bill Gates filed for a divorce, and no wonder people were shocked to the core. But since all good things do indeed come to an end, their marriage also ended. A few years ago, Jeff Bezos had also filed for a divorce, and it was reportedly one of the most expensive divorces in the history of divorces. But both Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos are super successful centibillionaires who won't be affected even if a large portion of their wealth is taken away from them. But what about you? You are neither super successful nor a billionaire. How would you deal with a breakup or a divorce? You can take your own sweet time to answer that, but let me tell you that breakups and divorces can be really messy and sometimes they can mentally affect you so much that they will take a toll on you. Almost everyone goes through a heartbreak sometimes or the other, but when you are an entrepreneur who's building the next big thing, then you can't afford to take the risk of going through a heartbreak, a breakup, or a divorce because that will stop your progress and it will severely affect your results. But this can be very easily avoided if you know how to choose a life partner who can help you and assist you while you are burning the midnight oil. Now, you might not always get successful at your first attempt, but if you have the right process on how to select the right life partner, then one day you will eventually get successful. When I was in university, one of my professors used to say that everything is a process, and I used to think, why the hell does he say that? But now I understood his statement. Whatever you do in life should be defined by a clear process as it helps you with deciding almost anything and everything, which further helps you in saving your time, money, and effort. The same can be true for selecting a life partner. Although selecting a life partner is the job of the heart and not the brain, but ask any successful person and he will tell you that a successful relationship requires logic and reasoning more than just emotions. Emotions will help you in the short run, but logic, reasoning, and compatibility will help you in the long run and will almost guarantee a long lasting successful relationship. Now, there are some aspects that are the key deciding factors when it comes to selecting a life partner, but we will not begin with them. First, we will begin with those aspects that you shouldn't consider while selecting a life partner for you. So, the aspects that you shouldn't consider while selecting a life partner are as follows. The number one point is education. Now, there are millions of people that have multiple degrees, but they are still unemployed, broke as fuck, and they are looking for a job that would pay them at least minimum wage. This simply means that they are at someone's mercy to survive. Then there are some people who are college dropouts or maybe haven't even completed their schooling, but in terms of success and money, they are killing it and going places. They might be earning good money despite not having a degree. When you meet someone, you might think that since a person is highly educated and has a degree or multiple degrees from an Ivy League college or a prestigious university, he or she must be great as a life partner. But being highly educated doesn't mean that a person would actually turn out to be a good life partner. A person can be good as a life partner irrespective of his or her educational background. So never judge a person based on his or her educational qualification, as there are many people who are college dropouts yet they are super successful. Now the second point is family. Just because someone comes from a royal family doesn't mean that they might have what it takes to be your life partner. Yes, you heard it right. A person can belong to a very rich, powerful, influential, and a royal family and still might be unfit for you as a life partner. Never think that just because a person has an influential second name, he or she could be worth that name. It's highly possible that they might be quite stupid. Every great family has some dysfunctional family members, and every dysfunctional family has some great family members. Hence, a person can be good or bad irrespective of his or her second name or family background. Now, the third point is wealth. Now, there are many individuals that came from humble backgrounds that had nothing, but despite their lack of wealth, they created a name for themselves, and in that process, they also got quite rich and wealthy. On the other hand, there are many individuals who came from a very rich and wealthy family, but they became spoiled brats and blew away all their inherited wealth and later became bankrupt. Just look at Anil Ambani. He was the sixth wealthiest person in the world in 2008 with a whopping net worth of $42 billion. But today he is completely bankrupt and people are suing him to repay loans worth millions of dollars. Just because a person comes from a wealthy family doesn't mean that he or she might be a right fit for you as a life partner. Now the fourth point is fame. Now there are many successful individuals who enjoy fame as a part of their success, but they don't actually like being famous as they know about the negative consequences of fame. Fame is a dual-edged sword and it can be beneficial sometimes, but it can also cause a lot of problems. Many famous people are actually very down to earth, and despite being famous, they choose to remain anonymous and try to protect their privacy as much as possible. Then there are some people who like to stay in the limelight, and for some reason or another, they stay in the news and they try to grab everyone's attention. There are many people who are doing great things without telling the whole world about it. And then there are people who do very little but market themselves as change agents of the world. This tells us that different people enjoy fame in a completely different manner, and you can't judge whether a person is a good fit for you as a life partner just because he is famous. Now the fifth point is success. Now there are many people who are successful, but not everyone uses their success for the betterment of society. Some use their success for getting more power, and then they use their power to rule the world and do whatever they want. If you take a look at some politicians, then you will see that they are quite successful at manipulating people and winning elections. By hook or crook, they become the prime minister or the president of their respective countries. This means that they are successful at whatever they do. But does this mean that they are a good person? Absolutely no. On the other hand, there are several people that use their success to empower others. This means that just being successful doesn't make a good person, which proves that a successful person isn't the guarantee of a good life partner. Now the sixth point is looks. Now this one is a highly controversial point, and I would simply say that you should never judge a book by its cover. If there's anything in the whole entire world that can confuse the shit out of you, then it's the looks of a person. This is because you're only looking at the packaging when you have no idea what's inside the package. A person can be the complete opposite of his or her looks, and you shouldn't decide to choose a life partner simply based on their looks. Now the seventh point is religion. Now I don't know why, but many people believe and have various assumptions about a certain religion. Because of media and certain stereotypes, they believe that just because a person belongs to a certain religion, they would be good or bad. There are stupid people everywhere, and just because a person is stupid doesn't mean that it's because of his or her religion. On the other hand, if a person is wise and intelligent, doesn't mean that it's because of his or her religion. Some people might also be an atheist who doesn't follow any religion, and it would be extremely hard to judge them. Hence, stop judging people by the religion they follow, as it can highly mislead you. Now the eighth point is nationality. Now this one is the same as the last point. Just because a person belongs to a certain country doesn't mean that he or she is a good or a bad person. Every country is full of good as well as bad people. So don't let stereotypes make you believe that a person would be good or bad just because he or she is from a certain country. Now the ninth point is gender. Once again, stereotypes rule our thinking process and dictate our life choices. You might have heard many women saying that all men are dogs, and you might have heard many men saying that all women are gold diggers or bad drivers. But the big question is whether these stereotypes are true or simply perceptions that were created by someone and then spread so many times that people started believing in them. The sad truth is that people can be good or bad irrespective of their gender. Hence, stop judging them based on their gender. Otherwise, you might come across a good person. But since you have weird stereotypes in your head, you will simply lose the chance to be with an incredibly wonderful person. Now the 10th point is profession. Now we all have our perceptions and stereotypes when it comes to the profession of a person. Now as soon as someone tells us what they do for a living, we might create assumptions in our minds about them which may not be true. Hence, don't judge a person by their profession, as there are all kinds of people in each and every profession. So far we have ruled out almost all the major aspects that people look while starting a relationship with someone. All these factors are neutral and may or may not decide whether a person is good or bad. But now you would be thinking, if these aren't the things that I should consider, then what are the things that could actually give me an idea of selecting a prospective life partner? Well, here are the aspects that you should consider while selecting a life partner, and they are as follows. Now the number one point is mindset. Now if you really want to judge a person by anything, then judge them by their thought process. This is the crucial difference between people who accomplish something in life and people who don't accomplish anything in life. Almost each and every one of us goes through tough times. But what truly separates the great ones from the average ones is the ability to think clearly even in the critical times. A person is merely the product of his or her thoughts, and if a person thinks clearly and has control of his or her emotions, then he or she could be a great life partner as well. There are many people who steal, rob, and scam others, even when they are quite rich, which shows that they don't have any morals, ethics, values, and principles. On the other hand, there are some people who have certain morals, ethics, values, and principles and follow them religiously all the time no matter what happens. These values act as decision filters and guide these people in difficult times. Now, nobody is born perfect, but everyone can improve and make themselves a better version with each passing day. There are several individuals who were not born with a silver spoon, but they had a growth mindset which enabled them to take full responsibility of their actions. On the other hand, the people who have fixed mindset make excuses and blame others for their misfortune. When looking for a prospective partner, always make sure that he or she has a growth mindset. Now the second point is actions. Someone might be good in their mindset, but do they do what they say? There is a small difference in saying something and doing it. There are millions of people who are extremely talented, but when it comes to work ethic, they are exceptionally lazy. They are basically professional procrastinator. If procrastination was a religion, then they would have been gods. You won't believe the number of people that could have been the next big thing in their respective industry, but failed simply because they refused to put in the effort. If you want to actually judge a person, then judge them by their actions and not by their words. It's because simply having the right set of values, principles, and mindset won't help them if they don't help themselves. Hence, actions are even more important than having the right mindset. Now the third point is compatibility. So now you are feeling great as you have finally found a person who has a great mindset and does what he or she says. But this doesn't mean that you have found the right person for yourself. There might be someone who is good for you, but you have to ensure whether you guys are compatible for each other or not. Many times people end great relationships simply because the two people weren't aligned with each other and were unable to see a future together. You have to talk about each and everything in advance and let your partner know about what you want from your life, and you also must know about what your partner wants from their life. If you guys aren't compatible in the long run, then there's no point pursuing a relationship like a college degree. You should simply drop out of it as soon as possible. Always remember that compatibility is the key to any long-lasting, successful relationship. Now the fourth and last point is looks. Now we would be lying to you guys if we didn't talk about looks. In one of our points, we said that you shouldn't judge a book by its cover. But the sad reality is that people will judge a book by its cover. If given a chance, then we would all pick a better looking, attractive and sexy life partner over someone who's simply average looking. It's not wrong to desire an attractive life partner, but you should always remember that there is simply no correlation between looks and how good a person actually is. But since there are many people who are both good looking as well as they have a great personality, so if you want to wait for that someone really special, then it's completely okay to do so. If you want to go that extra mile, then you must do that. After all, we only get one life. Why settle for less than what we deserve? But remember that if you want an attractive life partner, then you also need to improve, as you simply can't expect to date a supermodel that's super hot or a Miss Universe when you yourself are just a couch potato. Now concluding this video, who you choose as a life partner will greatly affect your life, as he or she has the power to influence and dictate almost each and every decision of your life. Hence, you should be very careful when choosing a life partner because it can change your life upside down. You can use this content as a manual for identifying people who are actually the same from the inside as well as from the outside. We wish that you meet the most wonderful person out there who will change your life for the better. But remember one thing, you won't attract someone really good if you are simply average. You can't expect a celebrity to get into a relationship with you when you are broke as fuck. Become someone who will attract the kind of person that you want to date. Well, that was it for today, CiBillions. Now if you really liked our content, then please like, comment, share and subscribe. It's your likes that motivate us to make more content just for you. And do follow us on Instagram because our community of like-minded people is growing bigger day by day. So, thanks for being with us until the end. We'll see you in the next one and thank you.